From the blazing plains of East Africa to the frozen peaks of the roof of the world, nature remains the harshest arena of survival on Earth. Here, every creature is equipped with extraordinary biological weapons forged through millions of years of evolution to gamble with life in every moment. This is a world where territory must be defended, food must be earned, and status must be proven. When a confrontation begins, there is no room for hesitation. There are only winners and losers. A giraffe's kick can bring down a lion. Yet every year, lions continue to hunt the tallest animal on Earth. So what drives a predator to accept such an enormous risk? On the East African savanna, height is a rare advantage. An adult giraffe can stand nearly 20 feet tall, allowing it to see farther than most other animals. From that vantage point, it can detect danger from great distances and reach foliage that few herbivores can access. But that same immense size also makes it a valuable target for predators. The giraffe's greatest weapon is not its long neck. It is its legs. A well-placed kick can break bones or cause severe injuries to a lion. Even experienced predators must approach an adult with extreme caution. Because in this confrontation, the smallest mistake can turn the hunter into the victim. But on the savanna, one species is bold enough to take that risk. The lion. Not through individual strength, but through teamwork. An adult giraffe is extremely dangerous, but a slower individual separated from the herd is a different story. The hunt does not begin with a charge. It begins with patience. The predators press their bodies close to the ground, using the golden grass and wind direction to close the distance. 300 feet. 200 feet. 50 feet. Everything unfolds according to plan until a young giraffe suddenly raises its head. Within seconds, the entire herd becomes alert. The ambush has been detected. There is no longer any reason to wait. The lions accelerate together, attempting to separate the youngster from the rest of the herd. One lion leaps forward and grabs onto the target's hind leg. But the prey reacts immediately. A powerful kick lashes backward. The lion is forced to let go. And that is the moment the hunt ends. The giraffes create distance. The predators slow down and come to a stop. Today, height and vigilance prevail. On the African savanna, no species is invincible. Lions can bring down animals larger than themselves. Giraffes can stop a predator with a single kick. But survival does not belong to the strongest. It belongs to the one that makes the fewest mistakes. And tomorrow, when the sun rises over the grasslands of East Africa, the test will begin again. On the African savanna, some hunts can last for hours. But for the cheetah, everything is usually decided in less than 10 seconds. If it fails, it loses a meal. If it succeeds, it can still lose everything to stronger predators. The East African savanna is one of the harshest environments for a predator. There are few large trees for cover. There is no darkness to conceal movement. Everything takes place in open terrain, where prey can detect danger from a great distance. In that landscape, the cheetah survives through a different strategy. Not strength, but speed. The cheetah's most important weapon is not its jaws or claws, It is its entire body structure. Its spine functions like a giant biological spring, compressing and extending with every stride. At top speed, a single stride can exceed 20 feet. Its semi-retractable claws grip the ground like racing spikes, while its long tail acts as a rudder, allowing rapid changes in direction at extreme speed. But speed only matters when there is a target to pursue. Gazelles are much smaller than cheetahs, yet they possess extraordinary reflexes and the ability to change direction repeatedly while fleeing. If the cheetah accelerates too early or selects the wrong target, the tremendous amount of energy spent during the chase becomes a dangerous waste. Because a cheetah cannot maintain maximum speed for very long. The hunt does not begin with a charge. It begins with a choice. Once the target is selected, everything explodes into motion. Within the first few seconds, the cheetah accelerates to 75 miles per hour, faster than most high-performance sports cars. The gazelles panic, scattering in different directions and constantly changing course to increase the distance. Claws and teeth secure the prey's hindquarters. The gazelle loses its balance and falls. In nature, strength alone is not always enough to keep a species alive. The black rhinoceros possesses horns, mass, and remarkable determination. Yet there was a time when even that was not enough to prevent its disappearance. Akagera covers more than 430 square miles, where grasslands, woodlands, lakes, and papyrus swamps meet. It is a landscape where every species must understand scent, sound, and distance to survive. For the black rhinoceros, this environment is more than a homecoming. It is the second test for a species that once vanished from Rwanda. The black rhinoceros's greatest weapon is its direct physical power. An adult can weigh more than 2,200 pounds. Its keratin horn, measuring over 2 feet in length, continues growing throughout its life. The rhinoceros has relatively poor eyesight, so it relies heavily on hearing and smell. Its ears rotate constantly. Its nose analyzes every unfamiliar scent carried by the wind. But in the modern world, the greatest danger to a rhinoceros does not always come from predators. It comes from the very horn on its head. A rhinoceros horn is made of keratin, the same material found in human fingernails. But on the black market, it has turned a giant animal into a target. No survival strategy can outrun a bullet. And no amount of body mass can withstand organized greed. That is why the black rhinoceros requires a different kind of strength. Protection. In many places, conservation teams protect rhinoceroses by removing their horns to improve their safety. The story of Akagera is not a hunt. It is a return. After many years of absence, the eastern black rhinoceros was reintroduced to Rwanda through a major conservation effort. Every step it takes across Akagera belongs to more than a single animal. It carries the hope of recovery for an entire species. From this point forward, the rhinoceros no longer stands alone. It is surrounded by rangers, monitoring systems, and people who quietly protect it every day. And who remain vigilant against the threats that once drove the species away. In Akagera, the black rhinoceros has been given a second chance. But that opportunity does not sustain itself. It requires habitat. It requires protection. And it requires people not to repeat past mistakes. Sometimes the greatest strength is not found in a horn. It is found in the determination to protect life before it is too late. At an elevation of nearly 26,000 feet, humans begin to require supplemental oxygen to survive. The air is so thin that every breath becomes a struggle. Yet in the middle of that death zone, one creature still glides through snowstorms as if it were at home. Winter on Everest is one of the harshest environments on Earth. Temperatures can drop below minus 76 degrees Fahrenheit. At an elevation of around 26,000 feet, oxygen levels are only about 1/3 of those at sea level. This is the death zone where even breathing becomes a challenge. The Himalayan yellow-billed chorf's survival advantage is not speed or strength. It is the ability to use oxygen more efficiently than most other birds. Weighing less than half a pound, this bird possesses an exceptionally efficient respiratory system and blood capable of transporting oxygen with remarkable effectiveness. As a result, it can remain active at elevations where most creatures would quickly become exhausted. In the middle of a winter storm, as icy winds sweep across the mountain slopes, the small bird continues to fly. It takes advantage of rising air currents formed along steep cliffs, soaring for hours while expending very little energy. Where humans must carry oxygen tanks and specialized protective equipment, this bird continues searching for food among snow-covered rock crevices. Each flight is a testament to millions of years of evolution on the roof of the world. The Tibetan people call Everest Chomolungma. Mother Goddess of the world. The Nepalese call it Sagarmatha. Peak of heaven. But for the creatures that live here, Everest is not a symbol. It is a survival test that never ends. And when they leave the death zone and descend to lower slopes, life does not become easier. It simply changes form. Because on the roof of the world, the true struggle for survival is only beginning. At elevations above 15,000 feet, where the air is far thinner than at sea level, one predator has turned the mountains themselves into a weapon. Winter eventually comes to an end. Snow begins to retreat from the high cliffs of the Himalayas. At elevations between roughly 13,000 and 18,000 feet, spring does not bring comfort. It simply opens a new chapter of survival. Himalayan blue sheep begin climbing to higher ground in search of fresh seasonal vegetation. The terrain here is a maze of cliffs, deep ravines and slopes that are nearly vertical. The thin air makes every movement more energy-intensive than usual. A single mistake can end in a fall of hundreds of feet into the valley below. The snow leopard does not rely on overwhelming strength. It relies on disappearing. Its smoky grey coat, patterned with dark markings, blends perfectly into rock and snow. Even people who have tracked it for years rarely see it with the naked eye. Its broad paws function like natural snowshoes, allowing it to move across soft snow with minimal noise. Its tail, nearly 3 feet long, provides balance on narrow ledges barely wide enough for a single step. Everything about its body is designed for approaching unseen. Himalayan blue sheep are the primary prey of snow leopards in many regions. They are born in the mountains, raised in the mountains, and spend their entire lives among steep cliffs. Their hooves provide secure footing on terrain that is almost vertical. Their sharp eyesight allows them to detect danger from great distances. High above the snow, leopard has been waiting for hours. It remains motionless on a rocky ledge. The blue sheep has no idea that a pair of cold grey eyes is following its every step. The distance gradually closes. It still remains undetected. The snow leopard launches itself from above. The entire attack unfolds in less than 2 seconds. If successful, it will have enough food for many days to come. If it fails, many hungry days lie ahead. Most snow leopard hunts end unsuccessfully. In the Himalayas, even the most perfectly adapted predators must accept failure as part of life. Today, only about 4,000 to 6,500 snow leopards remain in the wild. Much of their lives remains a mystery to science. The International Union for Conservation of Nature classifies the snow leopard as vulnerable. Climate change is altering high mountain ecosystems. Human activities continue to reduce the already challenging habitat of this remarkable animal. If the mountains lose their ghost, the Himalayas will lose more than a predator. They will lose part of a system shaped through millions of years of evolution. And then the silence on the roof of the world will be very different from what it is today. From the sunlit plains of East Africa to the cold grey peaks of the Himalayas, nature has always been a fair arena of survival, where countless species have spent millions of years evolving to endure. Yet even the most remarkable biological adaptations, from the cheetah's lightning speed and the giraffe's immense stature to the snow leopard's mastery of camouflage, become powerless against the destructive impact of human activity. Unchecked demand and careless gunfire have turned the black rhinoceros's natural armor into a sentence of decline, forcing this giant species to depend on human protection for its survival. It is time for humanity to recognize the consequences of its actions and choose a different path. If we continue to push nature beyond its limits, we risk unraveling the delicate balance that sustains life on Earth, and the greatest cost may ultimately be paid by future generations.